Good afternoon, my son. Hope you're doing well. Hey, I wanted to take a few minutes tonight to tell you a couple of things. Number one, I wanted to tell you something that I probably should have told you a long time ago. And number two, I want to tell you something that just kind of came to me just over the weekend here. So, with that being said, it's funny, son. Like I guess I compare it to, like, you always hear the stories about people who are from the city, right? If you live in the city and you go camping, you can't sleep. Why? Because all of the quiet, right? You're used to hearing the hustle and the bustle, the trains and the cars and the buses and the cell phones and the chatter and all of the good stuff. And so you can't sleep because it's quiet. And the folks that are from the country come to the city and they can't sleep because they're used to hearing the crickets chirp and the birds chirp and the creek running through the backyard or whatever. The point is that they're out of their element, right? So they find themselves uncomfortable. At the end of the day, like I always say, we're a product of our environment, right? Each and every one of us are a product of our environment. Well, as you know, funny thing, my world the last few years has been consumed with noise, right? The environment that I work in is full of noise. And it's constant. Cell phone ringing, emails, text messages, 24/7, right? My wife is used to it. My phone rings 2 or 3 times a night. Doesn't even faze her. I'll wake up in the morning to 20, 30 emails. Doesn't even faze her. We're just used to that noise. It's what we're used to operating in. And so my mind is always just going with all of that noise and that activity and responding and progressing and trying to get ahead of it and, moving forward through that. But, with everything that's transpired in the world recently, everything's changed, right? And my environment has changed. No different than everybody else's. I mean, everyone has their challenges that they're working through right now, and I get that. As they say, it's not the physical changes, it's the psychological change of getting used to things. Nobody's used to staying home, right? For crying out loud, nobody knows what to do, right? I was talking to some friends of mine in law enforcement, and the domestic violence rates have gone through the roof. The suicide attempts have gone through the roof, right? Those are the challenges, is psychological aspect of what this is doing, which is why everybody's trying to get out and go hiking and this and that and walk their dogs at the park and yada yada. We've got to adapt to the element, the environment, and I've had a lot of noise as this whole thing kind of moved forward. There's still been a lot of noise, a lot of activity in my world. Right up until this last weekend, it was everything just came to a screeching halt. And for the first time in my life in years, there's no noise. I'm not going to say none, but you could barely have a 30, 40 minute phone call with me without my phone ringing at least once, right? Nothing, man. It's just, I still get a call here and there, an email here and there, but sleep through the night like, no noise, man. So it's been challenging. In fact, I wake up at night, I sit up and I got to check my phone. Like, did I miss a call? So this weekend was a transition point for me, I guess. I don't know if it's the new or what, but I had no noise. I didn't really know what to do with myself. So I spent a lot of time thinking. And, not just thinking and responding, It's thinking, processing thoughts, thoughts, feelings, emotions, and just all stuff that I haven't done in a long time. And, the first day, Saturday, I did yard work, piddled around the house, did some honeydews, the wife's been asking me to do for quite some time, and got those things knocked out, made her happy, still spent some time thinking. And then yesterday, Sunday, I went for a 3-hour bike ride with a friend, and I came home and played with the dogs a bit, and came in here into the office, and sat down on the couch here and just thought, and I was thinking and looking, and I'll tell you what I was thinking about was this. Remember this little guy? I don't know if you remember that day, but I don't even know if that's focused, but that little guy right there, that's the little guy that was constantly, hanging on me, climbing on me, I didn't go anywhere without you, stuck to my side. That's that little guy right there is the guy that when I was like, Troy, hey, your friends are at the door, man. They want you to go out and play. I've never forgotten the day where you were like, what do I need friends for, Dad? I have you. You're my best friend. And I just thought, man, that day I was like, whew, that's a problem, right? I mean, the kid's got to be social. He's got to go out and have his friends and do all that good stuff. That day, everything changed. From that day forward, everything changed between us, right? It was slow evolution. It was a process. But it changed, some for the good, some for the bad. But in that process, I lost something that I never thought I would lose, I lost part of us that I never wanted to lose. And, slowly but surely, we're getting bits and pieces of it back, right? I mean, we're spending time together. We're talking on the phone a lot. And it's a sacrifice, again, because the noise, right? But, man, I got to tell you, I mean, you're probably the only son on the planet that takes his vacation in July and August to go to Las Vegas, right? I mean, because that's when I have the least noise in my life, and that's when you'll actually be able to capture my attention. And I don't know how many people really want to go to Las Vegas in August for vacation. 120 degrees Fahrenheit outside. It's not like we're hitting the pools, right? So we're not enjoying the outdoor recreation, but you always do it. You sacrifice that for me, right? So that we can have that time together. And as we've started that evolution process to gain that relationship back, I got to tell you is as we kind of move through the process, it was amazing for me, right? I got to tell you, son, like, it was amazing for me. And my wife will tell you, I mean, we'll get on these phone calls, right? And we'll talk for 1, 2, 3 hours sometimes, right? And, sometimes we're talking about this, sometimes we're talking about that. But, the day, son, that you called me and said, hey, Dad, I got something I want to talk to you about. Yeah, what is it, boy? I want to build a business with you. You have no idea how much that meant to me, son. You have no idea how much that meant to me. And it just brought me back to this guy, right? It brought me right back to that little guy right there. And the guy that wanted to build the vegetable garden with his dad, right? You remember when we built that vegetable garden? Oh my God, son, that garden was way too big for just the two of us, right? If you remember, man, we fed the whole neighborhood off of that, right? There was tomatoes and squash and zucchini, a ton of stuff we didn't even eat, right? But there's so much work, and that little guy right there was out there in that garden with me, pruning and picking and pulling and, weeding and tilling and shoveling, and you never complained a bit, man. Like, you looked forward to it. That was our thing, right? You were right there with me, by my side, building that project with me. And as you're telling me you want to build a business with me, that's what I'm thinking about, right? This is another opportunity for us to come together and to do what we do, the way we do it, right? Together. And I've been super excited about it, right? I get off these phone calls, I'm jazzed up, I can't sleep, all the thoughts are running through my head, I'm so excited. And then, boom. The world came crashing down, right? I mean, yeah, I know it's not selfish, I mean, maybe it is, I don't know, but there's, like I said, there's people out there, record numbers of unemployment claims right now, health concerns, throughout globally, right? There's a global health concern, a global pandemic, and for God's sakes, everybody's walking around with medical masks. You can't even go to the grocery store, and I'm pouting because my little project got tamped on, and I mean, I don't want to say that I was depressed, but man, the wind got sucked right out of my sail. You know what I mean? The wind got sucked right out. I was so excited about these projects we were lining up, right? We had dates planned. We were getting equipment. We were getting all of our processes and procedures in place, and we were ready to go. We're weeks away from executing, and boom. So yeah, I guess I was pouting, you know what I mean? I was pouting, and sitting on the couch, pouting, looking at, pictures, reminiscing about the old days, and I don't know why, but I just started thinking about it without all that noise. Some clarity came to my mind, and I was like, my boy wants to tell stories. What did you say to me? You wanted to tell meaningful stories. And I got to tell you, son, right now, with all the trash on the news, social media, the internet, everything full of trash, and content that you're so unsure of, and it's scary to people. Everybody's scared, right? I know so many people that are just turning it off, right? They're just, I gotta turn it off. They're just going for a walk in the park or whatever, right? But nobody's used to solitude, and it's scary. So I gotta tell you, boy, now more than ever do I think that people need to hear a good story, a meaningful, valuable story. And with that being said, I'll say this: now more than ever, I probably need to be engaged in an activity like that too, right? I'm looking forward to building this project with you, son. Hopefully we can enlighten some people. We can entertain some people. We can tell a good story to some people if they care to engage in it. But more importantly, son, I'm super excited. I'm elated to have the opportunity to work on a project with you, with my son. And again, hopefully you get something out of it. And let's tell some stories, boy. Whatever we do, good, bad, ugly, win, lose, I don't care. It's a project, and we'll have a good time at it. So I'm looking forward to it, son. I hope you are as well. And let's move through this journey together. What do you say? You want to? Let's do this. I love you, son. Have a good night.
Hey, what's going on, Fizz? Just out here running around trying to get some good shots for some B-roll here. So not as easy as it might seem on a windy day. See what we can find, man. I don't think we're supposed to be going back here.
Thanks for taking the time to watch my video. If you'd like to see more, please click up on the top right. If you'd like to see Troy and his videos, click on the top left. We'd both greatly appreciate it, if you enjoyed the video of course, if you would like and subscribe down below. Feel free to leave any comments, questions, suggestions. We'll gladly reply in kind.